Welcome back, students. Let's take a few moments to review our expectations for Google Classroom. We know that Google Classroom should look like students writing in their notebooks. Make sure you are taking your notes and have a chance to reflect upon your thinking. It also looks like students are on task. Google Classroom feels calm, productive, like learning is happening. And it sounds like students are listening and collaborating if needed. And of course, like learning is happening. Today on Google Classroom, we are going to recognize, write, and evaluate algebraic expressions with one variable. Evaluate is the new word in our target, and we could say that evaluate means to figure out or to judge, and probably a little bit easier to understand to find more of an answer. Variables are letters like X or Y, which we most often see, but there could be any letter, and it stands for an unknown letter, number, a number we don't know. Pause the video if you need more time. Variables are, of course, those symbols and X and Y, just like we talked about. If you need a definition, if you for some reason don't have this in your notes yet, make sure you write it down now. And an algebraic expression has at least one variable in it. X plus 2 is a great example. There is no equal sign with an expression. Later we'll find out that when there is an equal sign in these types of problems, it's called an equation instead of an expression. More to come on that. So let's focus on that recognize and write part of our target. Here we have 4K. We learned last week, really before break, that mathematicians show multiplication with variables, and 4K is one way that they show they want to multiply. So really, we could say 4 times or multiplied by K, K by 4. We know through our commutative property of multiplication that it doesn't matter which number or variable comes first, you would still get the answer when you multiply. And of course, with multiplication, we know we could take K groups of 4 or 4 groups of K. So here are 4 different ways, 5 really, that we could recognize and write what 4K means. Let's try another example. Here we have 7 times J. Another way we could write this is 7J. Because of our understanding with variables, you know that mathematicians figure we understand that this means to multiply. Again, because of that commutative property, we could transfer the J and the 7 to make it J times 7. J groups of 7 or 7 groups of J. Here are 4 other ways that we could write 7 times J. They all mean the same thing. Try this one on your own. Could you find at least 3 other ways to write 5 groups of P? And if you are stuck, make sure you rewind the video and look at what we did for the 2 previous examples. Pause the video now and resume it when you're done. Let's evaluate algebraic expressions. That's the other verb in our learning target. So here is an example. A packet of pretzel sticks is to be shared equally among some children. We don't actually know how many children because this word some leaves us hanging a little bit, so we don't know how many students or children. We want to find the number of pretzel sticks that each child could get, though, in terms of M. This is what we call a variable. M is that variable. It stands for the number of children we don't know. So in this table, if we have one child, the number of pretzel sticks is m, that number we don't know, so we use the variable. And in this case, it tells you m equals 24. Here's where we can evaluate to figure out how many pretzel sticks the students or children would get. It tells you this part. You never have to think of this on your own. It always gives you that advice. So with sharing or distributing, I will want to divide. So if I have 24 pretzel sticks and I share it with one person, that person gets 24 pretzel sticks. If I started with 48 and I share it with one person, of course, they also get 48 pretzel sticks. Now, if there are 2 or 3 children, I will have to divide the total number of pretzel sticks by 3 people. So 24 divided by 3 is 8. If there were 48, it tells me that this equals 48. I don't have to guess, it just tells me 48 divided by 3. Take a moment to figure that out on your own. 16 pretzels for each of the children. We could also do this for 6 and 8, and we could continue going up to 12 children. For this column, m is always going to be 24. 24 divided by 6. So to figure it out, we would do m divided by 6. Of course, we know this equals 4, so each child would get 4 pretzels. What would this answer be? And then try a couple of these on your own, see how that goes for you. We'll talk more about this in small group. Where are you with your learning? Now that you've had a few minutes of reviewing and learning in class and in small group about algebraic expressions, evaluating, writing, and recognizing, do you feel like you're at a 4, 3, 2, or a 1? Make sure you actually write down the questions that you're having right now to bring them to small group if you have some, or write down what part you really understand so that your teacher is able to know where you're at in your learning.